Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel AM Berlin. Today we are diving into Dart, a modern object-oriented programming language developed by Google and the backbone for Flutter framework. Whether you're into mobile applications, backend, or just want to learn a new language, Dart is a great place to start. So, in this video, just in 35 minutes, we'll understand all the basic stuff and the pro stuff about Dart. So let's get started. So as we are starting with Visual Studio Code, here you can start it by running this on your PC. Once you open it, you're gonna see all the folders that you want to access. From here, open folder, and you can open any folder that you want to work on. I will work on this particular folder, YouTube. So let's get started. So the first application that we are gonna test this Dart with is hello world dart, and let's type our first code, void main. It's the syntax needed for Dart. So let's get started here, and we'll write print just to see if we are already. So here we type our first command, hello world, and now it should run right on. Yep. Here I'm gonna run it using Dart, and it's gonna be the file name here, dart. Yep, it worked. Congratulations. But if you're seeing an error right here, so maybe what you need to do is install extension for Dart. Here you can type Dart, and you can view all the extensions that you are given basically by VS Studio Code. So you have to install these three. So you can see I have already installed it, that's why it's showing me uninstall. You will see something like this here, and after you're done with the installation, yeah, you will be right here. You can write your code and it will work just like this, you know, like this. Great. So now, as you guys have seen that how to run hello world.dart on your VS Studio Code, what's the next thing that we have to hop on is data types and variables. So we can go ahead and like start data types dot dart. So what is a data type? Basically, when we communicate with the language, we have to tell them what's string, what's integer, what's the boolean point. And by these things, of course, I will make it clear later on in the video what's integer, what's string, what's bool. So let's get started with the code. So we start void main, just the syntax. Here, after that, in here, I will mention int age equals to 25, and then something called string name equals to Alex. Bool is active equals to true. The next thing can be double pi equals to 3.14. Yeah, I guess that's the value. So why have we done this like this? Oh, we have an error here, so we can just make it correct, like quick fix. Of course, it's about the quotations, asking about the quotations. No, it's not like this. Yeah, I guess it will be more better like if I just add quotations. Here we just add it here. This was the issue. So why do we need this all like this? So I'm going to show you what is int about. For numbers, we use integer. So we have to tell the computer to know that integer is a number. Alright, then we talk about a string. String, what is a string? String is for words, any type of sentence that you want to communicate computer with. It's called string. Then boolean. So boolean is like a true or false statement. It will only mean either it will be true or false, so that will be counted as a boolean. What's a double? So when we are talking about a decimal value, a point, this part, so when we need this, it's always going to calculate it in double, so it can read the values after the point. So for now we have only told computer that this is a data, like this integer, string, and this. But how are we going to use it? We can use it in a print statement by saying age, comma, string is like, or we can say it like, um, I am dollar uh, name, my age is dollar age, and I am active. Or like we say, my status is dollar, and then we're gonna write is active. Let's see what it prints. Oh, it has an error here. Let's see what it prints now. Clear dart again to execute this file. Data types dart. Yep. You see, automatically it got its name, age, and status. So that's how we use data types, and these are the most commonly used data types. There are also more things to add on later on, words like list, mappings, so we're gonna get in the next steps. Now let's get started with if, else, and switch cases. So first we're gonna type if, else, dart. So we create a new file, and here we can be like void main, again the same syntax. Then here we can write int score equals to 50. Let's say 50. And if score is oh sorry, double, yep, if score is greater than, it's greater than 50, then we go outside and we like print here. Yep, print. Here we're gonna write it's print. What's gonna print? Pass. Yep, or equal to pass. We can see, yep. Here we go equals to, yeah. And if you get out of if something else, if score is less than 50, we're gonna print, of course, fail. And now if both of these conditions are running right, so let's run the code. Dart if, and then it's gonna run. So right now we have 50, it's gonna pass. What if it's a 90? It's gonna pass. But what if it is 40? So let's see what happens. Fail. So this is how if else works. Now what we have to do is learn the other stuff about if else. That's the last thing we can do here. And the condition is like if it's 82, score is greater or equal to 90, we can do grading system, basically grade A. Else if score is, we can do it like here and equals to, yes, we can say 70, then we can say it's grade B. Now what else? We can say it like else if all of these conditions are done and nothing has been this is different than this or this condition, that what we're gonna do is else print keep studying, and that's how we do it. We're gonna clear it up, clear, and then we're gonna run the last part. Yep, see, grade B. But what if it is 50? Keep studying. What's 90? Of course, grade A. After if else, one of the most common things used is switch case. So you'll just make switch case dot dart, and here we're gonna write void main, and then syntax is done. Now we're gonna write it like string role equals to here user, and okay, oops, yep, user, and then we're gonna write switch, and then the role is going to be role, and role, yep, and if the role is, oh sorry, your role is case admin, then what happens is print welcome admin. And what we are liking here is this. Yep, and this. Sometimes I make mistakes. Yeah. And now it's done here, so we're gonna close it here. And then the next case is going to be break here. Then the next thing is going to be after it breaks, it makes a new case, starts from a new case. And if the case is now user, which we have here, I will just want to take care of this case sensitiveness. Yep, and then if it's the same, then we're gonna print welcome user. Then we're gonna close it and again break, and then we're gonna work from here and set it to a default value that if none of these conditions match, and what's gonna be the default thing is print unknown role. So let's see how it works. And we're gonna clear it up again, and dart switch case. Yep. So right now we have a user which is saying welcome user, but now let's change it to admin and see what happens. Let me save the file and then we'll run it. Yep, welcome admin. But now if I say student, which can be a case, maybe a student is logging in a wrong portal. So let's see what happens. And now we run it again and say unknown role. So that's how switch case work. So now when we talk about these all coding stuff, it does not work like we do it in all steps again and again. So what we do is run a loop. So let's get started with loops. So we're gonna start with loops dot dart, and in here I'm gonna start with void main, same syntax, yep, always same. And now we're gonna start with for loop, and then for, this is syntax again, for integer I equals to 0, then yep, then we're gonna take it is if I is greater than 5, yes, and then close it here, and I will be continued. And now what happens is when it works on a loop, then I have to print it on a loop. So every time the loop is on, what it will do until it reach 5, it's gonna print, I guess it will be better if I say index or like something like just print the number, right? So we can do is I, and let's see if it works. Okay, clear it up again, and now we run loops. So we do it dart loops dot dart. See, 1 2 3 4 5. That's great. Now if we talk about other loops, then there are more loops which we can say like while loop, one of the most common ones, while loop. And what it does is int I equals to 0, and then we're gonna go while I is greater than 3, 3 is greater than I, yeah. And then here we can say print I So what happens is it's running for every case, and it's running while it's like it is doing something again, again, and again. It's also doing something again, but until this, right? So let's see what happens, what changes. Yeah, and let's run it here. See, 1, 2, 3. It's just same thing, but just bit of different. We can say like 10, and then it's gonna 10. You see, that's how it's for while. And here, oops, you can say 3, and then you get your code back here. Yep. So now, as we are done with one of the most used techniques in this language, we're gonna next hop on to collections, list, map, and set. So this is one of the most important things that you will use when you're working with Flutter and even on the backend. So collections dot dart. So we're gonna start with the same syntax, white main, and here we're gonna talk about lists. And when we talk about list, so basically list is just like what you have on the piece of paper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, everything in a sequence and on just one place. So int, so this list is going to be about integers, and let's say nums, and then this is the syntax for it. Every time you see list, it's going to be in this brackets. Oops, my bad here. Yep. And now it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And now what we do is we use a function that's already made for the list. So we do nums dot add, yep, and the value. We can say it like 8, and we're gonna close it. So what we are doing it, you're gonna see it in print. So we just print nums again. Yep. Yeah, you're thinking as we are printing nums, we're gonna see something like this, right? But what it will do is something different. It will do dart collections dot dart. It's going to add this 8 at the end. Oops. Sorry, where did I have this error? Yep. Nums, and yeah, I guess why am I seeing the error in UMS? Nums, yep. And then we have this. And then we have this. I don't know why I'm getting an error here. Let me see. Close it here. Close it here. I don't know. Let's clear it up again and see. Dart collections dot dart. Damn, it says collection is 6th line. Like, okay, and then yeah, it's right. No idea what just happened. Let's see it again. Yeah, now it's working. It's just the same thing. I don't know what happened, but now it's working. It's nice news. So we're gonna say like 8, 9, 10. Let's see if we can get 11 here. Yeah, it's working. That's nice. So this is one of the types of collections. The next type is map. Usually it's used for strings. String, yeah, string comma string again. And what's going to happen is something really nice. Cities, and then here you're gonna see. If we talk about countries, we're gonna say Germany and Berlin. Yep, these are two countries. And then France, you're gonna say Paris. Yep, and then Brazil. Sapo. Yep, so that's right. And then we're gonna talk about, yeah, these three countries. So what will happen is here. Oh, sorry again. Yeah, I sometimes in a hurry forget it. So we're gonna add it here, here, and here, and then here, and then here. Do not forget this, yeah. That's why it gives us an error. Yep, now error gone. So what will happen now is after running all these lists, so this is kind of list as well, but it's called map. And now after outside this, I'm gonna print like, let's remove this one so it does not print this one. Let's print something like what you gonna say, the kind of cities, yeah, cities, these, but which one? So we're gonna say Germany, maybe we need Germany again. Let's add it here. Yep, see the same mistake. And here we're gonna close it. Let's hope it works. Boom. You see? You just type Germany and you get Berlin because it's mapped in this way. Yeah. So this is a string, this is a string, and then when you're gonna type one of them, you're gonna see other of them as well. So the other thing we can do is here we can say Brazil. Yep, let's see what happens now. I guess we should see so. Yep, that's working. So this was second thing that's, yeah, really important. When you're working with live APIs and live data, it's very important to know about map and list. And the third thing is unique. Yeah, it's called unique set. We're gonna talk about set int. It's really unique thing. Yeah, about multiple items. Yeah, and then we're talking about is equal to, yep, and like 1 2 2 4 4 4 6, or we can say 7 8 9. Yep, you see it's like same thing being repeated again and again and again. So we don't want this, but we should not do it like on the same line. We are not supposed to remove it. We cannot change the data coming live. So what we're gonna do is print items, and let's see what happens now. Clear. Then we're gonna run this again and see. You see 1 2 4 6 7 8 9. All the copies that were one more than once have been removed, like 2 4s, 1 2, it's been removed. No duplication here. When you talk about set with integers, everything that is being duplicated just vanishes. So these are the three types of collections that are used like almost all of the times when you're working with live APIs and live data collection. So now the best thing that we are going to start working on is OOPS. Yep, object oriented programming language. Yep. So what's OOP and why do we need it? So it's basically how we create or develop a system that's maintainable. Once we declare something just one time, and next time you can use it by this dot that specific thing, and that's how it works. You don't have to write the same thing again and again. So let's start with an example of class, like a person. Just let's think of it as a data collection of a person just in a school, or maybe any any identification document. So let's start with person, and here we're gonna say string for the name. Yep, for the name we can, or maybe not like this, like this, and int age. So you see now we are not mentioning it here. We're making a software that we can later onwards just add the name and we get all the stuff done. We're not like pre-developing anything. So we just make it person. In here we're gonna say this dot name comma this dot age. And what we have done is here it's like we created a function of person, and now we're gonna say void capital sorry void greet. And now what you can do is whenever greet is executed, it's gonna show something like print and like dollar. Oh, let me grab it. Here we make it like a string. Hello, Mr. Dollar I hope you are doing well. Document says that you are dollar age years old. Yep, that's it, I guess. Yeah, and now we close it and out of it. Now we create the main function. You see, this was a class object created, and now we are going to execute it. And now we're gonna run it here and say person, like Mr. X is equals to person. Now his agent name. You see, Alex. Oops. Alex is 12. Again here, we're gonna say like here. Yep, and he's 12 years old. Now what happens is, what we have to do is execute it. X dot greet. Now it will execute that particular function. Yep, we save the file and then we dart. Oops. Dart. See? So now what's happening is you're not writing the name beforehand. It can be like an input which is going to be given later onwards, but you're going to create the whole function before in a class. And this is one of the most simple examples, and it's really going to be complicated if you work on big projects, but for now this is it. And in the next video for sure I'm going to teach you guys how to work with Flutter, how to install its APK from initials, and how to get started with Flutter properly with a complete guide and free code sources. And for this video, all these codes are available in the description. You can go and grab it yourself. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.